Hey guys, this is Michelle. Sorry about how my hair looks. Okay, so I'm gonna do a book review. I know it's been a long time since I've done one, but I'm gonna do a book review. And it is this book, The Egyptians, third edition, revised and updated by Adrian Dudson. That's the author's name. Um, okay, so there's a total of about, let me go back here. 14 chapters, and then of course you have the epilogue. And it basically talks about the rise of the Egyptian Empire, um, talked about the different pharaohs and rulers of each individual period. It has pictures of their temples, and it has photo of the pyramids and all that wonderful stuff. Um, I really did like this book. I do highly recommend it to anyone who knows absolutely nothing about Egyptian mythology or Egyptian history, especially if you're practicing like Kemeticism or Egyptian paganism. And one of the requirements to practice is you have to understand Egyptian mythology. It's also good if you're just interested in Egyptian mythology, not Egyptian mythology, sorry, Egyptian history and about the pharaohs and different things like that. And here's a really nice photo. So I give this 6 stars. And let's see here. It starts off with the preface and the introduction. It's got this here. Um, the first chapter is the loss and recovery of pagan Egypt, decline and coma. Um, Now, I thought it was really interesting that they started with the loss and recovery of pagan Egypt. Um, and basically, it gives you pretty much, it tells you what the churches during the basically the rise or the influence of Coptic Christianity, how they viewed their past. And um, it's interesting that they had this very narrow view of their own past, that they were so blinded with hate again with the pagans, the polytheists, that they did not realize that, or didn't care that without them they wouldn't be here. And then it goes into the Islamic rulers, the Islamic invaders, the Arabic invaders, and how they viewed the temples and the monuments as basically devil worship. The book's very blunt about that. Um, then of course they talk about the reawakening. When the Rosetta Stone was discovered, expeditions and discoveries. Um, they got some really beautiful photos here. This one's that uh, obelisk that failed or cracked. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful pictures. Hathor's temple. Yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Sacred lake. Um, Ancient places. Um, yeah. So this is just a really good book. The second chapter goes into um, the ancient places. Yeah. The I showed you pictures of that, and Yeah, chapter 2 is pretty long. Chapter 3, they talk about natural resources. 4 was the settlement of Egypt. 5 was pre-dynastic Egypt, and they talked about that the dead were buried in cemeteries that were actually walled in, away from the living. Oh, here's a figure down here. A lot of Wiccans to know great about the Nile goddess. We got the Archaic period. This is when Set and Horus were used to crown the king. The Pyramid Age of the Old Kingdom 1. And yeah, and then they had the Pyramid Age of the Old Kingdom 2. Sorry about that. I really hate doing these in segments, but you know, what are you going to do? Chapter 9 was the first intermediate period. We talk about the decline of the pharaohs due to drought. Then you have the Middle Kingdom, and this is interesting, is that I believe it was during the Middle Kingdom, paint pictures of grave goods were put in there because the people were too. This was nobility. They're supposed to be like super rich, and they couldn't afford even grave goods, so they had to be painted. So that was interesting. 10 is, of course, the Middle Kingdom. This just yeah, talking about the basically the elevation of Osiris and Isis. The second intermediate period, we talk about you know, that period between the middle and the new. And they talk about the story of Joseph reveals how some of these Asiatics may have arrived sold into slavery for corn in a time of famine or offered themselves as menials in return for food and shelter. Um, the New Kingdom, um, this one, Queen Hatshepsut's mortuary temple. Queen Hatshepsut. Um, Akhen, Akhenaten. The third intermediate and late periods, that's chapter 13. Then the final chapter was the Egyptian social groups, about the pharaoh, the royal family, the officers of the state, the armed forces, the scribes, and talked about that you had to go to scribe school in order to go into professions like medicine and architect and arts and stuff like that. Craftsmen and artists, peasants and laborers. Really beautiful pictures on tomb walls. So it was really nice, a really good book. I really enjoyed it. Then of course they have the, yeah, I know you really can't see well because it's like they don't have the lights on. So anyways, highly recommend the book. I got another book that I'll be reading pretty soon, and I will be doing a book review of that book when I'm done. And then, you know, just like with this video and the other ones I've done before, they'll be done in parts and then put together. So if I mess up on this video or messed up on the other ones, please let me know. I would really highly appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys have a very, very wonderful week. And until next time, may you all be blessed.